How y'all doing? This is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing is easy. Warriors and witches, how y'all doing? And God bless. We have another hard rant to you pertaining to Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei is a game that none of us asked for, but this is what we got. We wanted Ghost of Tsushima 2, but times have changed. This thing has been 5 years in the making. So buckle up. I got a few things that we're going to talk about. First off, before we start talking about Ghost of Yotei has finally arrived, basically. It's released. So people have been playing it, and a lot of people feel very mid about the game, especially with the story and also the combat. So those are the two things that I want to focus on. We're not going to focus on with the dumb bitch that tries to pretend that she's a terrorist. We're not focused on the main voice actor. She could fuck off with that shit. We're not going to talk about how the developers advocate for, you know, people that want to kill somebody based on their own different opinions. We're not going to talk about that, even though they did. Wait, was it Yotei? No, it was Yotei. They did fire somebody related to Yotei, but still, they still got an infestation in the Sucker Punch dev team. What I witnessed, I just want to talk about the story and the gameplay and see what kind of shit that they got in this game. Now, let's first off start off with what I've seen when it comes to the story. I will tell you right now, the way the characters speak in Ghost of Yotei, they sound like they don't want to be there. Does that make sense? They're not bad. It just sounds like with the Ghost of Yotei characters in the game, they sound like they don't want to be there. They're just throw their lines in there. There's some people that do a mid job and then some people that do a bad job, but most of it is just like you just don't care what's going on with the main character and you really don't care too much about the side character. What I have noticed is that they want to there's a lot of small talks between characters here and there, more than Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, there's less talking between characters, but when they speak in Ghost of Tsushima, it's elevated. It feels eloquent. It feels lived in. With Ghost of Yotei, there's a lot of talking where it's just what's a good example? It's like filler, like with an anime. You watch anime and you're like, ah, great. And then you're like, I can't wait until the next episode tomorrow. And then when you arrive home and you see the extra episode, it's a filler. And you're like, oh God, I don't care about this. I don't care about that. Let's start off with the fact that the beginning of Ghost of Yotei has showed me that there's no elevation of urgency with the main character. All it is just bandits, a handful of bandits. We're not talking about, oh shit, they're everywhere. It's chaos. It's crazy. No, it's just her family dies, revenge. She fights a couple of bandits in front of a building. And then it does a whole, like, back then when, you know, it goes back into time when you were with, you know, you loved your family and shit. That was the thing where I was just like, okay, all right, fine. They did the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima where, you know, you would go back in time and think about certain things. All in all, I kind of don't like that, but it gives me a sort of a context of the story. I kind of don't like going back and forth between. It's like watching Arrow on the CW. You're so concentrated on what's going on right now, and then out of nowhere they throw you in like, oh shit, the Green Arrow is stuck in a cave and he's got boo-boos, and I'm like, go back to the part where he was whipping people's ass in a warehouse. Go back to that. Why are we going back to him? Like, it's like that. So in Ghost of Tsushima, this is the beginning opening of Ghost of Tsushima. The Ghost of Tsushima was, oh, by the way, in Ghost of Yotei, there's a moment where the main character, Atsu, gets stabbed in the shoulder. And then she's like, ah. She's a child, by the way. This is the moment when she gets stabbed on the shoulder as a child. And she gets stabbed right here as a child. She has barely any experience with swordplay. She doesn't go out to war. She's fucking like 11 or 12. And she gets stabbed. This is her first actual wound. And she goes, and she gets stabbed through her shoulder, attached to the tree. And she's like, ah! And I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but usually when you're a child and this is a wake-up call to say, like, wake up, kid, you're in the real world, this shit's crazy, this is your first big wound, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Kids, if they get stabbed by a sword and somehow live, by the way, they're gonna be like, that's them. I'm sorry, they're gonna be sniveling around. There's so much like, just let Atsu be a girl, just let Atsu be a little kid. And I'm just like, hello, she's still a little kid, and the game's just like, anyway, that's one moment. I still fucking hated it. It smells of woke, but mostly whatever. To be honest, all of it smells like woke because it's supposed to be implemented into like the real world. This is a real it's I know that you have like a crazy move in Ghost of Tsushima where you can speed through characters and it's like a super move, Heavenly Sword or something like that, but most of all, it's pretty much realistic. After that ability, everything else is realistic. You kill people with 2 or 3 hits, and then that's that. It's pretty much realistic. However, when it comes to you fighting all these big burly men, the game's just, there are moments when you clinch with like big dudes bigger than you, and I'm like, hello? She is a female. It is what it is. Implement it into the game where the game recognizes, oh shit, she's a girl, but she has an advantage to do this. You know what I mean? You don't have to make her like, just like out of nowhere, just like, oh shit, she's a girl, so she can't do anything. No, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just be like, okay, well, she's a girl, she's weaker than the men, but we will add a system to where she's smarter than the average bear. She has certain tactics to walk around the enemy. Stuff like that. But the game doesn't do that. What the game does is take out Jin Sakai's soul, leave the body of Jin Sakai, bring in the soul of Atsu in Jin Sakai, boom, he's got titties. That's Atsu. That's basically it. That's basically, sorry, I'm turning on the fan. That's basically it. So, let's talk about Ghost of Tsushima, the opening. It starts off with a whole bunch of your men, a whole group of very passionate men, like fully decked out samurai with flags everywhere, ready to take on the Mongols that are coming through the sea. And you go in with your uncle, and you're like, this is it. You ready? And then you charge in, almost dying, and you take on people on the Mongols on the beach. Explosions, fireworks, blood, like brimstone. It's fucking going insane. But obviously you lose, and they take your uncle. And I'm like, shit, that was fucking cool. And then it goes to the part where it teaches you how to play the game. That's how you do it. That it gives you the motivation to be like, oh shit, I need to save this island. I need to save Tsushima. With Yotei, it's just like, ah man, this group killed my dad and my mom, and My brother, oh no, I'm all alone. And I'm like, it's such a low energy amount of urgency that when you start the game in Ghost of Yotei, first of all, let's go into the gameplay portion, because I want to talk about the gameplay portion of what I've seen. The gameplay portion, they want to give you so many fucking mini games in this game. It's fucking ridiculous. All of it is just waste your time simulator. They do a mini game for like music or shamisen. They do mini games for smithing. They do mini games for mini games. They do mini games every fucking where. They did a mini game on the map. And I'm like, you got a mini game on the map? Are you insane, sir? There were mini games on mini games. And I'm just like, stop. Just please stop. With them, you got me in here fighting 5 or 6 dudes, and then you take me back into time when she's a little girl, and then you're like, mini game, mini game, mini game, mini game. This is how you fight. And I'm like, bro, no, you do not force feed your audience with mini games at the beginning of the game. You want to know why? You want to know why you don't want to force feed your the gamers that play your game with mini games? Like, force them. Like, I'm talking about at the beginning. They do force mini games all over you at the beginning of the game. You want to be easy on that. You could do it, but you got to be easy on that shit, is what I'm saying. Because when they see the trailer, A Ghost of Yotei, they are seeing blood, weapons, and horseback riding and slicing and dicing. That's not what they set up for. They saw the front of the box and they said, ugly bitch fighting ugly samurai. That's what they said. They said, yeah, I want to play this, not fucking play mini game simulator. So let's talk about the gameplay real quick. The gameplay has pretty much not changed, although they did add, they pretty much just added new weapons. That's pretty much it. Now, here's the annoying part that we're about to get with Kitsu, because let's all agree Ghost of Tsushima gameplay in the first one was great. Awesome. This one is trying to add more, but it's trying to add more gameplay, but it's being kind of, I don't know, kind of annoying at the beginning. Because I know in the past Ghost of Tsushima, there were moments where they were just like, oh man, well, in order for you to fight or this guy with the shield, you need to use this. Or in order for you to fight this guy, you need to use this. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I can do that. But, by the way, in Ghost of Tsushima, you only have a katana. Mostly. Everything else is just tools and knives and little grenades and you can get a flaming sword later. Basically, that's it. You have a katana. In Ghost of Yotei, you have dual blades. You get arrows in the previous game. You also get arrows in this one, but they got a sai. They have so many different weapons with Ghost of Yotei. I can't even count them all. But here's the thing. In order for you to take care of certain different enemies, you have to switch your weapon to take care of different enemies. You know how fucking annoying that is? With Ghost of Tsushima, you just had to change your stance up. You had to change that shit up. You had to deal with a guy with a fucking shield? Well, you have to use a certain stance to move his shield out of the way and then cut him down with that fucking katana. We're not changing weapons here. With Ghost of fucking... Move that out of the way. With Ghost of fucking Yotei, you have to change weapons. And that takes a little bit longer, which is fucking weird, by the way. So, this is Kitsu, who is a VTuber, and she has played 4 hours of this, and I will show you what she said. Here we go. Played like 4 hours of Ghost of Yotei today. The game is aggressively mid. Story is alright. Nothing outstanding so far. Average revenge plot. What did I say? The combat wants to be a duel, where you are able to strike, block, and parry, and can learn even more things throughout the game. You get dual katanas very early on, with an option to swap between one blade and 2 blades. But The game forces you to which weapon to use against which enemy weapon. Solo blade against katana wielders, dual blades against spear wielders. By the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. Dual blading against a spear is such a stupid move. It can be done, yes, but I strongly believe that if you want to take on an enemy that has a spear, you could use a single katana, because your focus is when will they strike. Once they strike, you have two hands on the katana and you can move the spear away. That's right. I've been listen. I'm all about warfare, okay? I love me some warfare. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, when you have one blade, you have two hands. That means you have a dominant hold on that weapon, and you can move the spear out of the way depending on your timing and placement. However, when you have two blades, now you have less strength on both of your arms. It's pretty much light attacks all over. You see what I'm saying? So when they spear you and they have both hands on that spear, you have to make sure to move it out the way, and you can do it, but it's more preferable. It's a better chance to do with one blade. So when they tell you, I thought it was kind of weird that that's actually a thing in the game. Anyway, moving on. The game has way too many gimmicks and mini games. What did I say? That seemingly are only there to show you what your PlayStation 5 controller can do, and to artificially inflate the time you spend in the game. What did I fucking say, bro? They got you. Oh, do you want to play a musical instrument in Ghost of Yotei? Why don't you rub that little bar touchpad thing right there like this? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Ladies, you know what I mean? Instead of feeling immersed, it's unnecessary and a literal waste of time. By the way, before I continue, there is a major turnoff that they've changed with the ghost genre. In Ghost of Tsushima, you walk around and your character is silent. Your character is mostly silent. A lot, actually, until he actually sees another person and interacts with that person. In Ghost of Yotei, this bitch talks about everything. She won't shut the fuck up. She's like, oh, a chest. Oh, I wonder what's around there. Oh, how do I get over there? Oh, man, I need to follow that fox. I need to follow the fox. I need to follow the fox. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anyway, for example, when camping in the open world, you have to start up your own fire by For example, when camping in the open world, you have to start up your own fire by swiping up many times and hitting R2 over and over again. This is the thing that Red Dead Redemption 2 did not want to do. Red Dead Redemption 2, the developers were thinking about doing this whole setting up the camp thing for Red Dead Redemption 2. I remember an article about that, but they said, nah, that's too much fluff. So they just said, hold a button to start up a camp. That's what they were talking about with the old devs from Red Dead Redemption 2. They were like, oh, okay, for camping, we could probably do this. And they're like, nah, that's too much busy work. And I was like, oh, thank God. This game, it's just like, oh, shit, make sure you rub the touchpad and shit to clink the rocks together to start up a spark. You have to cook your food by using the gyroscope of the controller and physically move it down. So every time when you use the camp, you have to do this shit. This is fucking hilarious. Sure, cute gimmick, but no actual purpose was served, and having to do this every single time is just a waste of time. $80 for this is a waste. Do not spend your money on this. Don't even buy it on sale. Just replay the original. Okay, this is her playing it. Let's show it off a little bit.
Dual katana effective against pole. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh my, are you for...
By the way, in Ghost of Tsushima, they didn't tell you anything when you were hitting an enemy with a weapon that's probably not necessary. Also, you could still kill the enemy with a different stance. You just have to wait for the right moment. In this game, it likes to stop you and strangle you and be like, get the fuck. You have the wrong fucking weapon. How the fuck are you gonna take care of that spear, bitch? How the fuck are you gonna take care of that spear? Change your weapon. God damn. Hold R2, bitch, and press X to switch to the dual katana. No. Ghost of Tsushima just put it on the side or on the top, and then they said, hey, while the game is still running, while you're still in combat, they just say it on the top while combat is still going and says, hey, this is a good idea if you want to try it. In this moment, they're just like, they strangle you and say, get the fuck. Now, mind you, I think this is just the one moment where I think this is a one-time moment. I don't think this is going to happen throughout the whole game, but let's continue.
That is actually so lame. That is so fucking lame. Like, let me choose what kind of weapon I want to play with.
And then you got this one motherfucker in the distance that's just like, use your single katana when fighting swordsmen. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
I didn't know this, but you are literally beating the shit out of this guy with dual blades, with dual katanas. And the game stops you and says, katana. Katana is effective against swords. You see what I mean? He is so close to death. He is dying right now. And the game says, stop. Sir, daddy, chill. You could use one katana now. I'm over here like, bitch, he's dying. It's working. Why the fuck do I gotta listen to you now? He's dying. It's working. So I think this is just a training tutorial moment. It's kind of annoying. You got a guy shouting at you. The game stops you from doing certain shit. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, okay. What? I'm falling off the mountain, man.
By the way, it is possible to fight a person who has a single sword and you have two dual katanas. It is possible. I don't know why the devs thought it would be a funny idea. A funny idea to say, hey, he's got a single sword. Now you should go back to single sword just like him. And I'm like, why? Now's the advantage time. You want to talk about advantages? A spear and a dual katana against a person with a single katana? It's palpable. It makes sense. Can he deflect your stuff? Yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now, if she has a spear or two dual blades, she could take the guy out. I mean, as a woman, I don't know how she's doing that anyway, but that's a different story. So, I just wanted to lay this groundwork for you right here about Ghost of Yotei and what I've seen. I've watched the whole story of Ghost of Yotei. None of the characters I care about. I don't care about any of the characters. I think there was a moment where somebody died, and then I felt nothing. I felt nothing. I didn't feel anything. You remember that one guy, Taka? Or Take? In Ghost of Tsushima? And that fucking Mongol dude killed him right in front of you? I was like, fuck it. The fuck this bitch. Fuck him. Meanwhile, there's a character death in this game, and I'm just like, I don't know that guy. I don't feel anything. Maybe it's because I'm not playing the game. Maybe. Maybe. But the way they did it was just so... yeah, so we killed the last man out of the 2 women. Yeah, we didn't kill the woman. We didn't kill this woman. We killed the one guy. I'm over here thinking like, I'm watching the end of Ghost of Yotei, and I'm like, holy shit. A man is about to live in Ghost of Yotei. A side character that is a man is about to live from this woke ass fucking sucker punch team. A man is about to live through Ghost of Yotei. And then at the very split second, before, almost before the credits roll, that's, I would say maybe 7 minutes. They're just like, we're gonna kill this guy. And I'm like, what the fuck? He was fine. He was fine. There was no, this is not some like, oh shit, a boss fought him. Oh shit. If anything, it felt like he shit his pants and then just died. If anything, I feel like he died of like natural causes, of like, I don't know, like fucking like, you know how we have medicine for a lot of stuff right now, like the common, like he died of the common cold and shit. He's just like, and I'm like, you were fine. And I'm just like, whatever. And then the game ended, and then the game was like, do you feel sad about these characters? It's like, no, I don't. I don't care. I do not care. And let me tell you something. Ghost of Tsushima literally gives you a hint at the end of Ghost of Tsushima that there's more to be done. In Ghost of Yotei, they're just like, yeah, there's more bandits out there. Yeah, more bandits. Yeah, we gotta deal with that. In the previous one, in Ghost of Tsushima, they were just like, bro, you took down one of the big bad Mongols? Well, guess what? More ships are coming down the river. I'm like, oh shit. We got more work to do. God damn, we haven't done a goddamn thing. And then more ships appear. And in Ghost of Yotei, it's just like, walk off. Just a walk. And then just fade to white. And I'm like, okay, all right. Anyway, I just noticed a very steep decline in storytelling in this game, and it just seems lazy. By the way, I want to say something. There is moments in Ghost of Tsushima where you just talk to side characters. You talk to side characters about this much. You have little conversations about this much. Side characters. This is Ghost of Tsushima. You have this much conversation with side characters about this much. You have this much of conversation with very important side characters or main characters in Ghost of Tsushima. So side characters, main characters. And the main character moments in Ghost of Tsushima, they fucking go hard. There are side characters where I'm just like, you got a whole story like this? God damn! Holy shit! In Ghost of Yotei, just like those side characters I showed you in Tsushima about this much, in Yotei it's this fucking much. There are so many moments where the camera just shows you just, hey, yes, can you kill these bandits? Okay, Okay. Now, obviously, it's not like that, but it's very dry. It's like, have you eaten chicken so dry that you felt like you were about to shit powder like 30 minutes later? It's kind of like that. In Ghost of Tsushima, those little small talking points where you're talking to somebody, it kind of sounds meaningful. And, you know, you're talking to certain, you know, characters and stuff like that. You're trying to save, you know, innocent people. It feels good. Of course you get that in Yotei, but you get too many dry side mission characters to talk to that's just like, yo, just shut up, I don't care, whatever. There's going to be a lot of moments where you just skip the dialogue if you play this game. And there's a good portion of like main character moments that actually feel kind of okay in Ghost of Yotei, but most of all, I don't feel motivated with these characters. In Ghost of Tsushima, the characters that I was like, ooh, I wonder what he's gonna say, was the main character, the one female character that he always walks around with, Take, even the Mongol who is an antagonist, and the uncle, especially the uncle to Jin Sakai. In Ghost of Yotei, I'm just like, if there's any sort of relationship with Atsu, the main character, I feel like she's about to dig down her own horse. Or at least the dog. The wolf? And like she talks to other people, yes. But she's over here like, when it comes to animals, it's like this woman just fucking salivates. She's just like, oh yes, my horse. Oh yes. Oh my horse. When Jin Sakai got his horse, he was like, gotcha, buddy. And he just rode off. There was a moment where you were glad that you saw your horse and that your horse saved you. That was great. That's awesome. You almost died in Ghost of Tsushima. But in Atsu's case, Atsu's just like, I only care about animals. And I'm like, we know, bitch. We know. We know you only care about animals, okay? I got it, alright? You got some ninja squirrels out here or something that you're feeding nuts to. But anyway, that's all I just wanted to say. That's what I saw with Ghost of Yotei. That's my rant. I'm done. You bring dry chicken to my cookout, you get 10 seconds to leave the property. Have you ever ate chicken so dry you shit powder? That's what I'm just saying. But there's too many. I firmly believe that the developers that were originally with Sucker Punch have gotten fired, and they were the veterans, and now they're replaced with people that barely know how to work. So there's a lot of dialogue that's mid and just dry, where it's just like, you, hey, you, hey, yeah. And I'm not talking about the main mission stuff. That shit's dry too, but not as much. However, when you're having small conversations between the main missions, that's the stuff I like to watch out for. So I looked at that with Tsushima, and there's not much conversation between Jin and smaller characters. What you remember? Ooh, I'm done. I got a lot to talk about with Yotei, but I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for joining my hard rant. My whole brain is just like, wait a minute. This bullshit. I strongly believe they just kicked out the old devs, and now the new devs are just like, how about we just have them walk up to each other and then they do the horrible mouth sync? Yeah, I love horrible mouth syncing. Yeah, what are they gonna talk about? I don't know, just make up some shit. That's what I feel like happened. Anyway, I'm gonna end at that. Thank you so much for joining me on this hard rant. Peace.